Hi everybody, I'm Kelly from Dreamery, sheepdreamery.com, where I sell hand-dyed yarn for myself. Today is January 15th, 2013. I always say 2013. I always said 2012. I always said 2011. I am odd because one of my peccadillos is that it really makes me crazy when people say 2013 or when people say 9/11. That one really gets me. It was September 11th. Let's be clear on it. Let's not keep saying 9/11. That's just so stupid and feeds into just a really dumb theory in the first place. So I say it happened September 11th. That's also my, if she was living, mother-in-law's birthday. And it's also the day that my husband and I had our first date. So September 11th is an important date to me, and I would never want to shorten it by saying 9/11. And I'm sure that people born on September 11th feel the exact same way. So I say 2013, and I say September 11th. Just one of my weird things. I forgot to write show notes this week, so if you're not in the mood for a really rambly, wandery kind of tale, you might want to skip me today. I was going to show the yarn I dyed last week today, but my husband is on a business call, and I have Rocky in the room with me. If you don't know who Rocky is, he is my cat who is soon to be 18 years old in either March or April. He's actually, we gave him to my son as a pet when my son turned 3, and he named the cat Rocky after the Coors Light commercial because he loved the song that was in the commercial, Tap the Rockies, Coors Light. So he was always walking around singing, Tap the Rocky. So when I said, what should we name the cat, he said Rocky. So that's why our cat is named Rocky. Rocky is old. Rocky is deaf, we're pretty sure. And he has abandonment issues. He's very clingy and weird, and a lot of times when my husband is in the middle of a business call, Rocky will start yowling while my husband is trying to conduct business. And even though my podcast is for me to conduct business as well, I thought it's much more important for my husband to have a successful business call. I know a lot of podcasters, videocasters, have their pets that are always walking around in the scenery and things like that. And Rocky's actually in the room with me right now, and he's laying on his pillow. But I'm not going to get any of the yarns out because I know that people who might be buying my yarn might be allergic to cats, and so I don't want his dander to be anywhere near it. So my husband did say that if he gets off of his phone call while I'm podcasting, then he will come and get the cat, but we'll see how that goes. So what am I wearing? Today I am wearing an oldie but goodie. I saw a lot of other podcasters are making these right now, And this is my Clapo tea that I made many, many years ago. And actually, I was going to go on Ravelry right now to see what kind of yarn this is. I know that it's Noro, and I know that it's a cotton and silk blend, but I know that it's discontinued. And I'm not sure exactly of what the name for it was. So give me a second here. Noro. Oh, they've got some new stuff. Interesting. Ooh, rayon. No thank you. Let's see. View all 210 yards from Noro. Ooh boy. 6 minutes in, I'm already spending too much time looking something up. I thought that it started with an I or an H. No. It's not that. It's not that. Oh, because this is still stuff that's not discontinued. Come on now. Let's get going here. Today is also Random Acts of Pattern Tuesday. I did get a wrap today. I got the Don't Cage Me In sock pattern, and it was given to me by Denise, who lives down in Lexington, and her Ravelry username is Mad About Matisse, and I'm so excited because these socks were designed by Heather of Highland Handmaids. She goes by Boutros Babe on Ravelry, and she has her own videocast called The Fiberista Files, and I really enjoy watching it. Let's see. Getting somewhere. I know as soon as I see it, I'll know what it is, but dang. Wow, Noro has like so many yarns that they discontinue. I don't even know anymore. Well, how long ago did they discontinue it? Aaron, Worsted. Who even knows? I don't know. Come on. Yeah, that's what this podcast is going to be like today. Me just going, I don't know. Oh, la 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 la. 59% cotton, 41% silk in worsted, but I don't remember that being the name, and that looks really funky. And this is really smooth and awesome yarn. Let's see. Dreamery, Aaron, super bulky. No, no, no. Ah! Lily multi. That's what this is. Let's see. Maybe I can even figure out what colorway this is. Maybe not. Maybe that's enough of me searching for things today. Maybe people are done. Sorry. But it's Lily multi. Um, and I made it when the pattern first came out on Knitty, what, 2005? 8 years ago? Wow. Whew. I didn't do very much with my hair today, so I apologize for my ends looking kind of nasty and weird. Also, I'm going to grab a drink really quick. Ugh. So, what's exciting this week? I did finish one project, and I liked making it, but it does not fit me. This is yarn that I got in a secret pal swap years ago, and it was from a woman in Canada who homeschooled her children, and she made me a lovely gigantic wool shawl, and then she gave me a ton of this wool, and she just wrote that it was Romney wool, and I don't know if she dyed it herself or if somebody else dyed it, but my hands looked like I had possibly had intimate relations with a clown after I was done knitting with it. So I had to give it an extra good soak after I got done with it. But this is the Rose Red Beret by Isolde Teague. I don't know if this is coming out very well or not. And I did the medium size. I actually took the tape measure, measured my hat around so that I would have the proper size. And 26 inches was medium, and 26 inches is the side of my head. But when I put this on, I look like a demented purple pie man. It does not look cute. It does not look twee. It looks like I want to ruin Strawberry Shortcake's life and get revenge. So, if you know of a tiny-headed friend, or if you are a tiny-headed friend and you think you would enjoy wearing this tam beret, send me a private message on Ravelry or on Plurk, and I'll be happy to mail it to you. I had a lot of fun knitting it, and I actually knit it for a couple of different knit-alongs. Stockinette Zombies, they're doing a Baby Gets Cold Outside knit-along where you can knit a hat, you can knit a cowl, you can knit mittens and get entered for a drawing. Also, Dragonfly Soars is doing a Birthstone of the Month knit-along. January's birthstone is garnet, so the qualifications for that are that you have to knit something with the color of the month, and it has to be at least 75% of that color. Well, I did 100%. And then there was one other one I was able to dip into. I was a triple dipper, and I can't remember what it is now, but it was a really cool pattern. Oh, that's right, Retro Lemon. She is doing a knit-along from January through February where you're kind of expanding your horizons in knitting. And so for January through February, it's doing something with cables. And this has cables. So, cow, cable, red. I'm covered. So, again, if you have a tiny head, if you, I don't know, if you have a daughter, 12-year-old, or maybe you're just petite, one of the lucky ones, let me know. I'll mail it off to you. It's not for me, sadly. Um, what else? What else? What else? I watched the Golden Globes, and I love Tina Fey and Amy Poehler, so I really loved the Golden Globes. It was a delight, especially in contrast to Ricky Gervais's performance last year. I really don't care for Ricky Gervais, um, unless he's given a small role in a movie where he doesn't get to talk about himself. Um, I think he used to be funnier when he was fatter. I think now that he's lost a lot of weight, he's really cocky and mean. And he's lost humanity. His own humanity, I should say. But anyway, I really enjoyed the Golden Globes. I really enjoyed Jodie Foster's speech, because privacy is very important. I realize that right now I am doing a videocast and things like that, but there are people out there that I really hope never see me or find me again, because they did amazingly horrible things to me. I'm sure you might be able to guess what those things are. But then again, I think that these people that did terrible, horrible, awful, mean things to me, also really don't think about me at all anymore. But you never know. So I understand that she wants to try to remain a private person while still loving acting and loving being a producer and a director. Sometimes you love an art, and to get to participate in that art, you have to be in the public eye. And I think, especially for somebody who was the proud recipient of a stalker, that tried to assassinate a president to get her attention. I completely understand why she wants a modicum of privacy. And I think she's done a pretty great job at it so far. But the part of her speech that really got to me was when she was talking to her mother. Now, I don't know exactly what's going on with her mom, but I got the sense that her mom possibly has Alzheimer's, and that's something that runs in my family. My children, their paternal grandfather passed away in July from Alzheimer's, and his mother had passed away from Alzheimer's. And my own great-grandmother had Alzheimer's, and her daughter, my Nana, did not have Alzheimer's. She was an alcoholic, and she had, it's sort of a form of Alzheimer's, but it's called sundowners, sundown syndrome. So at night, that is when she would become confused. She was okay during the day, but once night came around, something in her brain kind of went kaput. And she was living on her own when she was diagnosed with this, and she was living hundreds and hundreds of miles away from the rest of us. So, my mom got a call from the police station that her mother was wandering the streets of Fort Lauderdale in the middle of the night, and things like that. And so she went to a nursing home where they could take care of her at night, every night. And so I understood and got really weepy. I'm going to try not to get weepy now, but just saying, I know somewhere behind those eyes you can hear me and you can know what I'm saying, and I love you, I love you, I love you. And that's what got to me. Okay, I'm going to take a sip of tea. So I really loved her speech for that. If she did come out, if she didn't come out, if you don't like the way that she gave her speech, nobody's perfect. Everybody's trying their best. And she was trying her best. And that's what I try to remember most of the time when people are at their worst, is that they're still trying to be their best. So I try to give a lot of people leeway. And for her to bring Mel Gibson along, I try to give her a lot of leeway, especially as a Jewish person. She just has a bigger heart of forgiveness and humanity and willing to help another person than I could have for that man. So kudos to her. Anyway, what else was I gonna say? Oh boy. So, and one of the best things was that she did the I'm 50 years old, I like to kick and I like to punch. And that's one of my favorite sketches from SNL. So it's like, yeah, she's 50, that's great. And if you follow Jimmy Bean's newsletter, you already know that Brad Pitt is turning 50 this year. And there's one other person that's turning 50 this year that kind of made me go, oh, really? Johnny Depp turns 50 this year. I wasn't ready for that. I wasn't ready for Brad Pitt to be 50. I was okay with Jodie Foster being 50. I guess mostly because I kind of grew up watching her, but I wasn't ready for those guys to be 50 yet. And one of the weird things I do in regards to coping with my aging is that I will watch movies and look at certain actors and go, okay, when this actor looks like a young guy in this movie, then I know I'm getting older. And there's actually one celebrity actor who has the exact same birthday as me, and that is Mr. Matt Damon. So now when I watch Good Will Hunting, I'm like, oh my gosh, he looks the same age as my kids. I'm old. But then I'll watch him in other things and he doesn't look too old. But then I'm like, we're still the same age no matter what. It doesn't matter if he looks old or not. I'm still getting old. And I'm just terrible at coping with that. Let's see. I am designing my first design ever. I'm keeping it simple. I'm keeping it interesting, I hope, and I will show it to you. It's not completely finished. Oh, crud. Okay. Um, it's from this yarn. That's coming out more purple than it needs to be. That's uncalled for. That's a little bit better. This is a colorway I named Boozy American Floozy. Because it reminds me of a night when I was out in Dallas with a friend of mine, and she kept grabbing cowboy hats off of other bar patrons' heads. And eventually she got to somebody who was wearing a cowboy hat, and the cowboy hat belonged to a person of a foreign land. And he said, "Give that back, you boozy American floozy." So the next day she went out and she bought her own pink cowboy hat. And I always just remember that. So, oh, see, it looks better from back here. But this is a cowl that I'm making. And it's almost done. I'm just trying to figure out how I want to cast off the end. But I think it's pretty neat once it's all put together. Katie, JetGirl1313, mentioned on Plurk the other day that she really likes it when people knit up swatches of their colorways so that you can kind of get a better idea of what's going on in it. So I only made one skein of this colorway, but if people like it, I will go ahead and dye up some more. And I did this in a worsted weight, and I don't have any worsted weight undyed yarn right now. So I'm going to wait until there's enough interest in worsted weight stuff before I buy any more of it. But I really like this color, this colorway. It looks good on me. It brightens me up a lot. This is nice too. It's actually kind of in the same color family. It has browns and purples and lilacs and things like that, but it's still of a different genre. And then, hello, Coheed and Cambria. So, I'm designing a cowl. If you would like to test knit it, let me know. I think that anybody who wants to test knit it, I'll send them yarn. I'll dye up some worsted and nail it off so that you know exactly what you're getting when you knit it up, and then I can see the results. How about that? Let's do that. So if you want to test knit it, please be a reliable person and know that you can do it within the next 3 to 4 weeks, that you would be able to get it done. I started this 5 a.m. yesterday morning, and this is as far as I've gotten. So it's kind of a quick knit if you just want something fun to do real quick. Let's see. Enabling. Oh, enabling. I got this bag the other day. Do you know about this bag? This is a Stitched by Jessa Lou. Wait, I can't see if you guys can see it. Alright, can you see it now? Stitched by Jessa Lou. And it is a Firefly project bag. a little firefly. And it has all of the characters from the show on it. And it's adorable. I really like it. I'll be honest, it's a little smaller than I expected it to be, but for the fabric that it is, I don't mind paying the extra price, the higher price, I should say. And then there's just that for the inside. So this is my first boxy bag, and I really like boxy bags. I would love a sweater bag. And the day that I bought this, my husband and I had been having a tiff. I bought it to make myself feel better. And it did. Unfortunately, like 2 days later, she came out with another boxy bag with other fabric that I fell in love with. And it's all the characters from Spaceballs. And it's already sold out. So I hope that she does buy more fabric and that my husband buys it for me for Valentine's Day. I showed him. I said, if you're looking for a bag for me for Valentine's Day, and he said, I'm not. I have bought so many bags in the past 2 to 3 months. It's kind of out of control. So he's like, I'm not. It's like, okay, well, anyway, when you need an idea for something to get me, this is what I want. So hopefully he'll get it for me. Fingers crossed. Any stash enhancement? I got Mad Tosh French Grey, and it's Tosh Chunky. And I got it because I had so many Jimmy Bean's Bucks rewards. A lot of you talk about Loopy U, and I really had not heard of them until I was watching podcasts and videocasts. I really didn't know anything about them. I've been a Jimmy Bean's customer for years and years and years. And so I'm sticking with them for now because they have the fastest delivery ever. The best. Like, they've never let me down. So I don't want to go changing. But that's all I got. And I spent last summer buying so much Mad Tosh. I have quite the collection. So my goal for this year, well, my intentions for this year are to knit most of the items that I knit out of stash I already have, but more importantly, to knit with yarns that I've dyed so that people can get an idea of what I'm dyeing. So I'm trying to strike a balance in here and there. But since this was practically free, and I'm a sucker for Mad Tosh, I got it. Here it is, falling apart everywhere. I don't know what I'll do with it. Most likely, since it's gray and chunky, might knit a Christmas present for my dark child. He's actually not that dark, but when people look at him, they kind of get the wrong idea sometimes. Last week, he was let into a concert for free because the people at the door assumed that he was with the band. I was like, good for you. You saved some money, kid. Plus, he doesn't drink when he goes to concerts. So, like, have fun while you can. Live it up. So I guess that's about it. Oh, that's right. Let me look real quick. I wanted to make sure, because I couldn't remember if I had done it yet or not. So I'm going to double check to make sure that I do it today so that I will feel better knowing that I did it today. Let's see. Yes. On New Year's, I received a hat pattern from Chef Caroline, and it is a hat pattern from Laura of the Knit Girls, and the pattern is called Girl from Nantucket Hat. So, Chef Caroline, if I did not remember to thank you 2 weeks ago, I am thanking you today. I'm positive that I sent you a private message thanking you, but I also wanted to thank you here and let you know that I appreciate it. I still have to finish my sock. I really have to finish my sock next. After I finish my cowl, I'm going to finish my Mabel sock, because then I will have completed one project that was gifted to me, and also it will go into Sock Bunny and the Knitting Den's variegated sock knit along. You've got to have a complete pair. I've only got one, so it's all in here in a very cute bag. And so that's what I will be knitting for the rest of the week, is that sock. And then I will go back to knitting on my The Hobbit Visits Rivendell cowl, is what I named it. It's the Rivendell smoke ring cowl, and that was gifted to me by Dragonfly Source. And that's a Susan Pandorf design. And I'm doing that in Cephalopod Yarns Skinny Bugga Coconut Monkey colorway, and I'm really enjoying that. And I still have to get back to knitting on my sweater. Whew. Lots of to-dos, to-dos, to-dos. And I sent out my yarn last week for the Fat Fiber January, and I've already knitted up or dyed up the yarn for the February inspiration, which is purple. How creative! Purple. So I've dyed 3 different skeins in purpley colors, and those will be going out as samples in February's Fat Fiber box. I just need to skein them up and tag them and bag them and mail those off. And then I think I don't know anymore. My brain's kind of bloop, bloop, bloop today. I'm really grateful that the cat's on the end of the bed and he hasn't disturbed us from our conversations. He's just old and kind of hunching over there. And anyway, I hope that you all have a great week and that you have happy crafting, and that you don't have to frog anything, that you don't have to tink back, and that somebody gives you something nice. Somebody does something nice for you. I still have to do some random acts of patterns today. I haven't done any yet. So after I get finished with preparing this to upload and things like that, I'm going to go off and do some fairy work. So, all right. Have a great week, and Irish goodbye.